What is good, YouTube, man? Today I'm back with you guys, with the nation, for another video, man. So, look it out. Check it out, man. Today's the 24th. We are now only 5 days away from the big day, the big final thing that's going to release what our offense is going to look like, right? And what our defense is going to look like, and what this offseason is going to be graded like, man. This is going to be interesting, right? So we are only 5 days away. And no, this is not a mock draft. I'm keeping my word. I'm staying to my word. But I am going to give you guys 10 prospects that I think the Raiders should target in the first 2 rounds. But you already know what I got to say, man. Shout out to Icy Nate. He is the creator of today's thumbnail. Go check Icy Nate's channel out. He is Icy_Nate. Go check his channel out, YouTube. But let's get into it, man. So I'm going to just give you guys 10 prospects, not really in any order specifically. I mean, there's guys that obviously are like top 5, that kind of stuff. But I'm going to give you guys 10 guys that, I think should be targeted in the first 2 rounds. And I feel like if we were to get 2 out of the 10 guys on here in the first 2 rounds, I think that this offseason, that would be a freaking W. I think that we would have a pretty good offseason if we were to get 2 of these guys in the first 2 rounds, So let's get right into it, man. So number 1, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think the number 1 target that we should be looking after in the first top 10. And guys, think about it. I'm also thinking about scheme fits and guys who really, if you look at the past of like Tom Cable, what kind of tackles he likes, and guys who Gus Bradley likes his free safeties and that kind of stuff. I'm going to be looking at that. I'm going to be checking out those kinds of guys. So, number 1, I feel like one of the guys that needs to be targeted at 17, we all know his name. It's Trevon Moehrig, man. Trevon Moehrig, safety out of TCU. He is a must target at that position right there. I mean, at number 17, if Trevon Moehrig is there, you talk to Gus Bradley. If Gus Bradley gives him the okay, if Gus Bradley says this is my guy, if Gus Bradley says all this kinds of stuff, go and do it. In my opinion, go and do it. You have to do it. If Gus Bradley believes in Moehrig, and Moehrig is Gus Bradley's guy, go and get Moehrig. And I believe that Trevon Moehrig is Gus Bradley's, or it's not Gus Bradley's, but it needs to be one of the guys in the top 10 prospects that I feel like the Raiders should go after in the first 2 rounds, right? Number 2. This one I'm putting in here because he's been everywhere. He's been everywhere with the Raiders, with all this kinds of stuff, right? Oh, is he going to fall, this and that, right? So I had to put him in here just because of those things, and that is Micah Parsons, Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons. In my honest opinion, I don't think he'll be there. I really don't. But if he is there at pick 17, or whatever the off chance is, right, he's falling down the board, I believe that he is a must target in the first 2 rounds. He is one of those guys that we must target in rounds 1 and 2, right? Parsons has some, what is he, 240 or 239, and he ran a 4.39 at linebacker. He was a former D-end. He has great hands, very, very, very athletic. It speaks for himself, right? Parsons is a guy that I think that obviously you need to target in the first 2 rounds. And next up, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite prospects in this draft. Somebody who I thought was our guy at 17 before we re-signed Nicholas Morrow, and that is Notre Dame's linebacker and strong safety and slot corner, Jeremiah Owusu. He is the definition of an impact player in my opinion. I've been preaching this for a while, man. I always thought that, listen, although linebacker isn't a need now because of the acquisition and the free agent signing, we brought back Nicholas Morrow. I always believed that Jock should have been our pick at 17. Before we released all those guys in the offensive line, I was sticking to my word. Jock is the guy, But at those times, we didn't have Nicholas Morrow back, so that's why I was saying that. But once we got Nicholas Morrow, I said, okay, what's our next need? If Nicholas Morrow's back, He just had a pretty good year. Then I had to look at, okay, free safety. We need a free safety. And that's why I was looking at Moehrig and guys like that. And then, we released Trent Brown, so then you have to look at tackles, right? But if Notre Dame linebacker, strong safety, slot corner was there in the first round at our pick, he is a must guy that he needs to be targeted by the Raiders. He is an impact player. And in all honesty, Notre Dame guys are very attracting to Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley loves Notre Dame guys, and I'm sure it's not because they're good football players, but they're also really, really, really smart individuals. So Jock is in my top 3 of guys that, like I said, it's not in particular order, but that kind of stuff. So, number 4, you guys may be shocked by me saying this because, in my honest opinion, after watching it a bit more, I wouldn't mind the pick of this guy, but I still don't think that he should be our number 1 priority. But it's defensive lineman out of Alabama, Christian Barmore. I think that Christian Barmore, even though he isn't my favorite prospect, I still believe that he should be a target for the Raiders. I still believe that if we traded back and guys like Moehrig, Parsons, Jock, and all the other linebackers and all the other safeties were gone, hell yeah, I would take Christian Barmore. But for our needs, obviously, there's guys that I put above him. But Barmore, in my opinion, needs to be a guy that needs to be targeted by the Raiders. He has a couple of issues with his pad level, and they're pretty bad issues. But I do believe that probably with Rod Marinelli coming into league and having a guy like Rod Marinelli as your coach, I think that's going to do great things for a guy like Barmore if he were to be a Raider. So I do believe that he makes it into this top 10 list of guys that I believe the Raiders should be targeting in the first 2 rounds. Now, the next guy, he's, there's been a lot of hype about him at the moment. And with me, the reason why he's below guys like Barmore and stuff like that is because after watching his film, he is a good player. Very, very, very strong player. He's a mauler. He's a bruiser. And that's Teven Jenkins. But after making more research, as we all need to be doing, if you relook at his film, please watch how many times he holds. He holds a lot. Not only that, he grabs a lot outside of the shoulder pads, and that in the NFL and in college is a hold. And we all know the target to the referees that it adds when you're wearing that silver and black. Also, he isn't the best fit for guys that Tom Cable is used to. That's why he's at 5. I still put him in the top 10. He's a guy that I 100% would not be mad at if we got him, but he has his issues, and in my opinion, he has more issues than a guy like Barmore does. So, those are just my opinions, right? But I 100% agree he needs to be a target for the Las Vegas Raiders 1,000% in this first 2 rounds, in the first round specifically, obviously. But let's get into other guys. These guys are probably, second rounder guys. And let me get straight into it. So, my first guy that I believe the Raiders should target, maybe not inside the first round, but in the top 10, in this top 10 list, is Jamar Johnson, safety out of Indiana State. I believe he needs to be one of the guys 110% that the Raiders need to be targeting. He's good, man. I watched this film, and I just thought that he was going to be a free safety, right? I just thought he was going to be a free safety. Nope. He used to be a corner. And also, what I like the most is how many turnovers he creates as a free safety, as a corner, even when he's playing strong safety sometimes. He creates a lot of turnovers, and it's not just interceptions. When the times that he would be able to blitz and stuff like that, he would get a lot of fumbles, sack fumbles on the quarterback. Also, his awareness when it comes to tackling and trying to punch a ball out, he's really good at that. And Jamar Johnson 110% needs to be on the top 10 list of prospects that the Raiders need to be targeting in the first 2 rounds, man. But let's go on to the next guy. And the next guy is Liam Eichenberg, left and right tackle out of Notre Dame. He is one of my favorite prospects in this class. This was another guy that I've been saying before. Imagine if we got 2 Notre Dame guys with our first 2 picks. That would be pretty funny. But Liam Eichenberg, he has the versatility to play both tackles positions. He is more naturally a left tackle, but hey, I believe when we drafted Coach Miller, he was more naturally a right tackle. So, who knows? I really think Liam Eichenberg should be a target for the first 2 rounds. I like Liam Eichenberg a lot, man. I really do. I really do like Liam Eichenberg a lot, and he has to make this top 10 list. And the next guy is Jabril Cox, linebacker out of LSU, formerly a defensive back before he transferred to LSU. I forget what team he played for, but he used to be a defensive back, and that is why I like him so much. His coverage ability he's probably the best coverage linebacker in this draft. He is not the best run stopper at all, but his coverage ability is top tier. And I really like that a lot from Jabril Cox, and I wouldn't mind that at all. If he was a guy that we picked up in the first 2 rounds, you get an A+ from me. Now, going on to that linebacker position, there's another guy that I want to mention. We're about to start wrapping this up. After Jabril Cox, these two, I'm not ranking these guys like this. Please remember that. Another guy that I feel like the Raiders need to be targeting in the first 2 rounds is Jeremiah Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky. Man, is this guy electric. What I like the most about Jeremiah Davis is that he plays a lot of outside linebackers. So he is kind of more of a fit than Jabril Cox, because Jeremiah Davis plays outside linebacker. Jabril Cox is an interior linebacker, and right now Kwiatkowski has that on lock. But Jabril Cox can 100% play outside linebacker as well. But Jeremiah Davis needs to be a target for the Raiders. I really like him a lot. He has also some pretty good versatility. His coverage skills are nowhere near not nowhere near, but it just isn't as elite as Jabril Cox's coverage ability. But Jeremiah Davis is more of a polished guy, and he played a lot against Kyle Pitts, and he played well against Kyle Pitts. And we all know that Kyle Pitts is for sure a top 10 talent this draft. So Jeremiah Davis, man, what would you guys think if we got him in the second round? Now, next and 10th, the final prospect of today, and that's going to be safety. He's kind of a strong safety. He's kind of a free safety. He's kind of a do-it-all kind of guy. Is 24 years old, Richie Grant. Safety out of FSU? No. I forget where he's out of right now. I can't think of it at the top of the head. I just got off work, man. But Richie Grant. I know I put guys like Jamar Johnson over him, Moehrig over him. But Richie Grant, in all honesty, he's not the best scheme fit for us, right? He's not the best scheme fit, but I really still like Richie Grant. He needs to be one of those prospects, one of those targets that has to be in the first 2 rounds on the board for the Raiders, in my opinion. And I would not be mad if we got Richie Grant in the second round, man. Richie Grant makes the top 10 list by a smidge, by a little nudge. But he's a good player, man. I wouldn't mind it at all. His versatility and how much he was used at different positions in college, in my opinion, that's what's dropping his draft stock. Because much like we seen in a top 10 talent like last year with Isaiah Simmons, it might be difficult for a team to really know where to play him and get his best out of him. But you know, Gus Bradley can do that. Gus Bradley can get the best out of his guys. So I wouldn't mind a Richie Grant in the Raiders uniform whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think about this top 10 list, in my opinion. I mean, I think this is a phenomenal top 10 list. And it's not of just like, this isn't the top 10 draft prospects. These are the top 10 guys that I think the Raiders should be targeting in the first 2 rounds. Let me know what you guys think about this list, man. I think it's pretty flawless. I mean, we got Moehrig, we got Parsons, we got Jock, we got Barmore, Jenkins, Jamar Johnson, Jabril Cox, Liam Eichenberg, Jeremiah Davis, Richie Grant. I think this is a fire list, man. Let me know somebody that I might have been missing. If there was another prospect that you liked over others, just let me know in the comment section down below, man. I know that I maybe should have put Zaven Collins in here. I like Zaven Collins a lot, man. But yeah, if I had to give an honorable mention, it'd be Zaven Collins. He makes this list no matter what. I mean, I like Zaven Collins a lot, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, Raider Nation. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. And I'm out. Peace.